So if you guys watch this, just beware that politics are involved, and I fall on the side of the Democrats. I really didn't pick a side. It was kind of picked for me. I'm friends with the governor. He's got one of my paintings. The other day, about 6 months ago, just kind of to play devil's advocate, I wrote as nice as I could letter to Trump, because I didn't want to alienate him from being in world preschool. And I sent it to my colleagues at the VMFA, and so, you know, I wanted him to be in world preschool if he wanted, and I got this official package back from the guards, from the police force at the VMFA, and I thought, oh my God, are they going to tell me I can't come to the VMFA with purple dogs anymore? And I opened it up, and it said, please stop sending any kind of spam to the VMFA, and it was the Trump letter. So the hold of politics on people is immense, the belief systems that they have. And so they may say it's bipolar when really it's just different political beliefs. The Ayn Rand model is the individual, and the individual should pull himself out of problems and not rely on government systems or charity, things like that. And I think you should do as much of that as you can. But when you rely on a society to work together, and your IQ may not be so high, or you weren't given correct education, you might end up on welfare, or you might end up in prison, and that's costing us an awful lot of money. So my system is a school system that's better for educating people, and also finding everyone an occupation that they can do without being so kind of harassed by the government and the teachers to do something you don't want to do or you can't do, and then you feel like a failure. You know, my dad he gets so emotional and just like goes crazy. And nobody's perfect, so I don't want to put anybody in the middle of anything, but just look to the source of the strife, and it may not as much be me as a certain political system that works for the upper middle class or the wealthy, but it doesn't work so much for people that are struggling. I grew up in police were blue collar. They just weren't as smart. God, I'm so thankful for good police, and we need to have more good police, not the ones that are not so smart, that they're killing kind of mentally ill people or people with low, we can change that, and that's what I'm about. You're not seeing me correctly if you're mad at me. Try not to listen so much to the Ayn Rand people. That's all the philosophy they know. They go on that, but Thomas Jefferson did not. And you can watch videos, but you need to know who wrote your Constitution. Thomas Jefferson wrote this really good book called Himself, and I read it twice. It's gotten so bad that there's people in Charlottesville that want to take Thomas Jefferson out of our history. That's not going to happen, and I won't let it, because my IQ is pretty high, higher than Disney's, in fact. There's no reason to not talk to me about your feelings. There's no reason to physically hurt me, whoever you are in the family, besides your own issues that you need to look into, that you could just talk about. You cannot change Ayn Rand. She's dead. You can't discuss her philosophy. And I've heard, enough about her to know that she's not my kind of girl. She didn't have kids. She didn't really think for the welfare of all the people. She thought of welfare for herself and her pocketbook and becoming wealthy and standing on her own and telling other people to do the same thing, while all around you the society crumbles. So I think through the school systems, the public schools, I read Sir Ken Robinson. He was not an Ayn Rand fan. He wanted to fix the school systems to be better. I feel sorry for these little kids getting on school buses and somebody's told them they were a failure at age 8. That's just not a good school system. But because I love you, and I love you more than anybody, I love you more than anyone in the family, because I am your mom, and I'm not perfect, and I'll discuss anything that you want to discuss. But I did get in a marriage, and he was fraudulent. He was fraudulent with his company, and he was fraudulent with me. And it was tough. It was tough being married to that, because he was an alcoholic. And I'm sorry, but that's the best I could do. I'm continuing on with my life. I think there's a good chance that I'll have a good show and I may get patronage to build my school. I am preparing you. I'm preparing myself for that situation. If it were to happen, I don't want you to be caught blindsided. I am a public, I have a public profile. Not that I'm famous or wealthy at this time, but if my dream to come true would happen, there would be a certain amount of, I got my portrait made the other day with a camera. A guy wanted to make my portrait just in case it happens, and he was with the VMFA. So I'm not mad at you for acting out. That was true and real to you, Hillary. I hope you can get better. I hope you can express yourself in a better way. I was sitting down. You were going wrong for me as a person. I said, no, I don't want to apply at those places. I don't know where they are. They could be 3 or 4. I want to work at the food line. There's 3 food lines on the bus stop. Could we just start there? I didn't want to waste your time because I knew your time was limited. And you got so angry. And, childhood is rough. It's rough for anybody. Even if you have the most perfect parent, then your parents are too perfect and you can't live up to them. Luckily for you, you can surpass me easily. Thank you.